Alright,
Morning, my name is DC Eagle.
I mean, this might seem to be getting old, but
we're here today to talk about the Juno mission to Jupiter.
I didn't even realize how much bullshit these guys spew. It's unfucking real.
Today, and it's science and Jupiter.
It's science, right? Look at all that shifty eye movement.
Juno mission manager from the Jet
Dude, you could thin slice the hell out of this. Nothing about them seems confident. He's about to laugh. Don't laugh. Watch his shifty behavior. Does that guy look like he's like about to tell you something like an achievement of humanity? This guy's laughing. We're 55 seconds into the video. And like every single one of them didn't seem to be taking this serious at all. We'll continue.
Deputy Principal Investigator and Magnetometer Investigation Lead from the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland.
No response. This lady is a fraud. Remember her, because she's the theatrics. She's the, they pull the oldest trick in the book. The UK accent. We all know her now.
From NASA, Washington. Thank you.
Good morning. We could not be more excited about being back on Jupiter's doorstep and being so close to our arrival on Monday.
Let's just freeze frame a couple of these faces.
But never this close. And we know a lot about Jupiter from previous missions.
Oh my
Juno
god.
is poised to answer the questions that we still have. Juno is the second of 3 missions within NASA's New Frontiers program, which is in the Science Mission Directorate in the Planetary Science Division. And the
Ooh, a little shady breathe in there.
New Horizons mission, which some of you will probably remember last July, gave us those amazing photos as it flew past Pluto. The mission is scheduled to launch
Can't even talk. So nervous.
Fly out to the near-Earth
you guys are
and do a sample return,
breaking news on like a great achievement of mankind.
Juno was selected in the second.
Oh, why so nervous and guilty looking?
Program. It was selected.
Unbelievable. Anyway, I wasn't even planning on doing a little breakdown of that, but they show you like a fucking model. This is like all they can show us of like all the money spent on this. Is this fucking little model. Animations again, you know, no real pictures on the way, you know, there of Earth leaving.
Created. Jupiter's our example. And in order to accomplish the science objectives that we're set out to do and the measurements that we want, we have a set of tools on board Juno. We call them science instruments.
Oh.
But they're just
like they just like try to go through this speech and use like words to somehow convince us they spent a lot of money doing this. Science instruments. Alright, tell me about them.
There's different tools that we use, tricks of the trade, so to speak, and I want to give you a little idea of how those work. They're situated around the spacecraft that you're a little bit familiar with from these images and what Ed just explained, and I'll show you that on this first animation.
Animation again.
You'll see sort of an X-ray view.
And this is an X-ray view of what?
Instruments. They're all looking
Those
out
are all the
between
science
solar rays.
instruments.
The solar rays are,
I don't know. Discern for yourself what you know, whatever you believe.
Are able to look out between the solar rays, so we don't have to spend a lot of effort turning the spacecraft. Everybody kind of gets their turn as we spin through. So it was a very simple, efficient design. And
I have this marked out. 1535. This guy just spews some bullshit and tries to recover, I think.
Shock in front, shock wave. A boat going through the ocean creates a bow, right? Shock, a wave in front of that. That's what Jupiter's doing. It's plowing through the sun's domain, and it's created this bow shock.
Yeah, right. That's not even what I wanted to show. Just straight bullshit.
the amount of water inside Jupiter, we can learn a lot about how Jupiter formed, and that teaches us not just about Jupiter, but about the whole solar system, about how solar systems form, because Jupiter formed sort of out of the leftovers from the sun, and the rest of the planets formed out of the leftovers from Jupiter.
Watch his little face after this. Oh shit, I fucked it up.
The amount of water inside Jupiter, we can learn a lot about how Jupiter formed, and that teaches us not just about Jupiter, but about the whole solar system, about how solar systems form, because Jupiter formed sort of out of the leftovers from the sun, and the rest of the planets formed out of the leftovers from
Of
Jupiter.
that. It's like a dinner plate. Like leftovers, and then they formed a planet. And then the leftovers after that, the next day formed, you know, and the rest of the planets, right? Does this guy look confident? Like he just said that, like it was science. He looks like he's having an internal conflict. Right there. He does like a little smirk. A couple guys that talk some stuff in the middle of the video, and they show a bunch of animations. But towards the end, they throw the, you know, they have a trick up their sleeve. They save the best for last. This lady's got a different accent. It's supposed to confuse us, but like, everybody knows the oldest trick in the book. And she is theatrical. She opens her eyes a lot. She shows you more emotion. Again, like I said, they're just trying to make this an emotional thing, something you feel and imagine, not something that has actual data. And this is all the art of deflection. They're speakers, not scientists.
So by the time we're done with the
Yeah, so he talks his bullshit. And then
of influence
this lady
to talk about the
is
discoveries,
a fraud.
I'm going to hand it off to my good friend and colleague, Fran Baganel. Talk about
Fran Baganel, okay.
Thank you very much, Jack. So as Scott said, the sphere of influence of this very strong magnetic field is vast.
Sphere, emphasis on sphere, like they're trying to like enforce something.
It's enormous. And it's sitting in this wind of protons and electrons that are streaming out from the sun at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
See, more of like a comedic act than anything. 1,000,000 miles an hour, shaking your head back and forth, trying to get a little chuckle, but nobody laughed.
And furthermore, as Juno has been observing, we know that that wind is gusty. It's blowing. And so this
Blowing,
magnetosphere
gusty. Where's the data? Show us some fucking data. Like, oh my god.
is changing and moving around as the gust of the solar wind comes and goes. So we have a very special opportunity with Juno coming in, observing the variable solar wind, and what we want to know is what influence that has on the magnetic field and the environment close to Jupiter. And the easiest way to do that is to look at the aurora at the same time as Juno is measuring the
Okay,
solar
watch
wind.
this, watch this.
So let me talk a bit about the Jovian aurora. If we could have the picture.
You could have the picture.
This is a Hubble Space Telescope picture looking
Is
in the
it?
UV, the ultraviolet light, at these blue, they look blue, but it's ultraviolet in fact. These are energetic particles coming
Don't
and
mistake it for
bombard
blue.
the atmosphere of Jupiter and make it glow. And you can see three main regions here. You can see a
When
main
they play the
aurora oval, which is
animation,
a
I
sort
just
of round
laugh.
region that's very bright and fairly steady. Unlike the Earth's, it doesn't vary very much. The aurora, that part of the aurora, doesn't vary very much.
Very,
we also
very
see
much.
some bright spots. Io spot, the Europa spot, and the Ganymede
my
footprint.
God, get to
These
the
are the
animation.
footprints of the magnetic field that go from the moons that are moving in this magnetic field. There are very strong electrical currents, 1,000,000 amp electrical currents.
Another
that are
eye
coupling
shift.
these moons moving
Another
through
eye
the
shift.
magnetic field to the planet. And where the charged particles that are carrying those currents hit the atmosphere, they make it glow. And so you see these spots associated
Stupid.
with the moons, Io, Europa.
Okay,
and Ganymede.
anyway.
The aurora
I just want to get through the
or
animation.
so, and you can see, we're going to repeat it.
The
3
hell does
times.
that look like? It looks like an
This is a clip that
ultrasound
is
on
sped
top of
up
a sphere
about,
and they're rotating it. This
300
is standing
times,
still
lasts
right
about
here. This
45
is not
minutes.
moving at all.
And you can see the main
This is
auroral
just like an
oval.
ultrasound.
You
They
can see the
flexed
spot of
over this
Io
globe
over
image.
on the right, and you can see a
It's
spot of
just
Ganymede
this
there too.
is not
But in the middle is this very
fucking
variable
aurora.
auroral.
I'm running out of time on my thing here, but let me just show you this. This is a 2010 image, or an image from 2 years ago. This is the image that they used to display that aurora that I believe is just an ultrasound that they tinted blue. Like, if they had the Hubble take a picture of it, why do they have to put it on top of a fake image from a few years ago? Like, if you think that those are different Jupiters, I don't know what's wrong with you. And then if you think that Jupiter could have that same position, I don't know. I pray for you.